Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! Tomorrow night we will witness the premiere of Freya Skye's first ever EP. It is available for pre-order off of FreyaSky.com at this very moment. You can pre-order your copy at this moment, and everybody is so excited about it. So because there is a young girl out there today watching this YouTube channel because she is so excited about Freya Skye's first ever EP being released, I want you guys to know that I get you. And I get how you feel about Freya Skye. You know, over 30 years ago when I used to attend all these huge concerts, I had to line up for about 3 days to get my hands on a ticket to an artist that I saw a hero in. So 30 years later, now that you have so many advancements in technology, you can pre-order your tickets online, you can go to the box office, you have so many options to get your hands on a Freya Skye ticket. Unfortunately, these tickets are sold out across the 15 cities that Freya Skye will headline because she's such a phenomenon. But don't worry, you guys will have even more opportunities if you were shut up for some unforeseen reason or circumstance. You will have more opportunities to see Freya Skye in action. Because I want to do everything in my power to make sure that happens for every Freya Skye fan who was excited about the Disney Descendants Worlds Collide Tour and who were excited about the announcement of Freya Skye's first ever world tour across 15 cities across the United States. I have never felt more incredibly proud to talk about Freya Skye on this show, and that's why I've dedicated the entire month of February to talking about Freya Skye, because she's never felt strongly about an opportunity. Just yesterday, actually, I saw one of Freya Skye's latest interviews that she did for a UK radio show. She sat on the microphone, and she was so proud to tell everybody how she was feeling about her music and how well it's been received, and all these incredible opportunities from Zombies 4, Dawn of the Vampires to working with Disney. She was so honored to be a part of every moment that she ever had the opportunity to share in with each and every one of us, because she's so supportive of her fans. Thousands of people love Freya Skye, and I just read down through the comments of the interview, and people were saying, oh my God, I love Freya Skye. She is so special. She's so unique in her own way. And that's what separated her from every other artist out there. Because oftentimes it's all about what a label or a management label wants you to feel, or how they want you to be perceived. It's never about how you want to convey your image and how you want to present yourself. And if I was the creative director behind Descendants of Zombies characters, I would give them more creative freedom. I would do everything in my power to make sure they felt as if they were a part of something special that they forever and always wanted to be a part of. Because I can never seem to see enough opportunities for these stars to really showcase their talents the way they want to. I remember in 2024, just before the premiere of Descendants: The Rise of Red, when Kylie Control's first ever EP dropped. And this EP came with a lot of criticism from people who were reviewing these kind of things on YouTube. And I've always believed that there is no room for any form of criticism in any conversation that we have about these girls. And the reason is because they're just trying to figure out their place in the world. They're trying to introduce themselves to you for how they want to be introduced. Because trying to produce your record independently in this industry is very difficult to do. I've seen some of the best of them crash and burn because they wanted to make names for themselves in these industries. I've seen far too many girls fail at trying to achieve success in an industry that never really wanted to accept them. Because it's always about how the audience responds to you. And if you can't write relatable music or put relatable content out there, they're never going to accept you, because the audience is never afraid to let you know how they truly feel about them. But when it comes to somebody like Freya Skye, you guys have always been showing so much love and support for her. You've obviously seen something special in her, so you deserve to be supported. And I've just wanted to be a part of this fandom. I've just wanted to have these conversations with thousands of people who I could only hope would subscribe to this YouTube channel because they were a fan of Freya. If you are somebody who really has a golden ticket in your hand this morning, because you're going to be heading out to Freya Skye's first ever show of the Stars Align Tour this Friday night, it will kick off in Portland, Oregon, a town that I'm very familiar with. I've worked in Portland for many years. I just got out of a job in Portland, actually as a radio show host over 20 years ago. And I remember how obliging the people were of Portland and how incredibly supportive they were of their favorite artists and people they really saw heroes in. Because that's what you see in somebody like Freya Skye. It all began with how you saw a hero in Freya Skye. How you obviously saw something special in Freya Skye. And I got to be honest with each and every one of you. I saw that too. Every single night that I would come home after work, throw my keys down on the kitchen counter, never knowing where I was headed in life, I would turn on YTV in the late hours of the night, because I always used to watch late night programming on YTV when I was a teenager. And I remember seeing Kylie Cantrell and Freya Skye on that show just wanting to make names for themselves, and they had the opportunity to do it in the way they wanted to, as an over-exaggerated version of themselves, just hoping to make it in an industry which oftentimes is never credited for how difficult it is to make a name for yourself in this industry. These Descendants of Zombie Stars, ladies and gentlemen, are under a lot of pressure. And I seem to be the only guy on YouTube who creates this content for you guys who seems to realize that. So because they're under a considerable amount of pressure, the least we can do as YouTube creators is give them a reason to believe in themselves more than ever before, which we have done as a fandom supporting Freya Skye. Because let's face it, we're going to come out by the thousands. We're going to be crazy, head over heels in love with Freya Skye. We're going to have our glitter signs and our beautiful gowns on. So honored to celebrate this moment with Freya Skye because this is the first time ever that she is having a world tour for herself. 15 cities. To say you're headlining 15 cities across the United States all throughout the month of February with some UK dates thrown in there. By the way, guys, she is incredibly excited to be heading back home to the United Kingdom to perform in front of her home country. And I mean, who can say that at just 16 years old you're performing in front of your home country? That's got to be a huge honor for Freya Skye. So the least we can do as reviewers is every single night that she comes home on that tour bus that she falls asleep on every night is say something nice about her and hit the like button over 50,000 times because we love her with all of our heart. I really do believe that there are people out there watching these videos about Freya and Kylie and your favorite Descendants of Zombies characters as a whole who love them with all of their heart because they see a hero in them. They've obviously seen something special in them, and that thing they've seen special in them, they've carried with them forever and always. You know, years ago, I was such a huge fan of Jessica Simpson. Nobody ever really knew it, but I was the biggest fan of Jessica Simpson. Every single night of my life, I had multiple posters of Jessica Simpson on my wall. Now, I've changed it up over the years, and I've become a really huge fan of Nintendo characters and Marvel and Disney. As you see there in the back, Gravity Falls posters and what have you. But I do it to try to relate to each and every one of you. But I do remember having a lot of Jessica Simpson posters and merchandise on my wall because Jessica Simpson used to have her own shop off at jessicasimpson.com. Every single night I would be on jessicasimpson.com just seeing what she had going on because I wanted to support her. And I had never felt more proud to be a fan of Jessica Simpson. And I never felt more proud to be a fan of Miley Cyrus years ago too. I was also a huge fan of Ashley Tisdale and Ashley Tisdale's work. Because if there were ever inspirations, they had to have been Miley Cyrus and Ashley Tisdale. They just fit perfectly together. And there was always just something about Jessica Simpson that you just couldn't help but love. And that same logic applies to how you guys feel about Freya Skye. So if you are somebody watching this video who has a Freya Skye poster as part of her backdrop in her room, you have all this Freya Skye merchandise, you probably have a Freya Skye hoodie that you've never taken off. I know there are people out there that feel very passionate about the Taylor Swift hoodies, and you collect them. I know because I've seen it. And I see nothing wrong with collecting a Taylor Swift hoodie. If you're passionate about Taylor Swift, if you're passionate about Freya Skye, and you've carried that same passion that thousands of people, millions of people really have carried for Taylor Swift over the years, then there's nothing wrong with that. Wear your Freya Skye hoodies to school, wear your Freya Skye hoodies all day, and never ever take them off, because that shows how dedicated you are to them. And I just want you guys to know that I love you for it, man. And I wish more people would fall in love with Freya Skye because there are people out there that cover this industry who don't even know who Freya Skye is. And that's truly unfortunate that we don't know who Freya Skye is. I found out about Freya Skye because of you guys. Because you guys knew who you loved and who you supported. And you've supported them for many, many years. You've never quit on them. And that's what I recognize about you guys, is that you never quit on somebody you love so much. And I also believe that there's nothing wrong with that. You've obviously felt encouraged. You've felt inspired because you see heroes in them. I remember the first time ever I saw Freya Skye being on the show The Next Step. It was produced here in Canada, and I've produced a lot of shows on YTV over the years. I've had a hand in a lot of things you guys have seen behind the scenes, and I had the chance to really understand these stars for who they truly were. One of them was Victoria Justice years ago. I saw something very special in Victoria Justice in her TV show Victorious, and what was happening with Victorious here in Canada were YTV were refusing them to give them a primetime lineup every day of the week. So what you would have to do is you would have to resort to watching the latest episode of Victorious as part of the Friday night lineup, and then you would get a repeat airing probably about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning Eastern Standard Time. So people would either have to catch Victorious on Friday night, or they'd have to catch a repeat airing on Sunday night between 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning. And I felt that was never good enough. So I struggled for years trying to get Victorious a primetime slot until I finally got it. And more people became fans of Victorious because of that primetime slot. Every night from Monday to Friday, I think eventually it came down to 7 nights a week. Victorious started airing. And it wasn't until 7 nights a week of Victorious being aired that people took away a greater appreciation for that TV series. I had never felt more proud to have accomplished what I did with Victorious because I got them a new primetime lineup, a new primetime slot they took full advantage of, and people like Victoria Justice and Ariana Grande received a tremendous amount of publicity. I also got them a video game on the Nintendo Wii years ago that everybody loved, and the Xbox 360, which you used to connect thing for, that camera. It was really, really cool seeing Hollywood Arts debuts premiere and sell millions of copies because you felt very passionate. I honestly believe that Victorious cast was the most talented cast of that generation of kids' TV shows. And I really believe in this generation, the most talented cast of individuals make up the cast of Descendants and Zombies, and they deserve to be celebrated. If there's one thing that I've wanted to ensure were that the legacies of your favorite stars would eventually go down in history for having been some of the greatest of all time. And I have never felt more honored to talk about your favorite stars, and I'm never going to stop until people like Freya, Skye, and Kylie Control receive the recognition they have forever and always deserved. Because I felt just as passionate as each and every one of you have about people like Freya, Skye, and Kylie Control because they realize how special these moments are. Just yesterday, I saw one of Freya Skye's first ever interviews promoting her EP. And when she saw herself on a billboard for one of the first times ever when they revealed it to her in the United Kingdom, seeing yourself on a billboard in a country that you feel so proud to have been from and resided from, that has to be a feeling that's truly undescribable. I can only imagine the butterflies that must have been in her stomach. To be recording one of her first ever radio interviews, to be promoting her own EP, which she's so proud of. It only has about 6 songs on it, like Golden Boy and Silent Treatment, but it is a beautiful EP because it represents Freya Skye the way she wants to be represented, how she wants her image to truly be put out there. Because we've seen people like Taylor Swift change their image time and time again to fit the criteria of a promotional label or a management label. Whatever way they want to promote Taylor Swift, they're going to promote Taylor Swift without giving her any creative control or really any say. Honestly, guys, I think people like Freya Skye are talented enough to be executive producers and sitting in the production chair at such young ages because she's so young, but yet she's writing such beautiful music. And that often, more than enough, is never really appreciated. I think we really need to take time in our videos we record to really appreciate how young she is, but yet she's writing such beautiful music. And I have taken away a profound amount of respect for Freya Skye each and every single time that I've had these conversations with thousands of people who have subscribed here for the sole reason that they are a fan of Freya Skye. So tomorrow when her EP drops, how many million of people do you think are going to purchase this EP? Are going to be excited to hear this EP having finally been produced and give Freya Skye a moment that she just can't help but be appreciative of. Let her really run away with this dream because this started with a dream with Freya. You know, Freya was just like each and every one of us that had a karaoke machine in our room. We'd sing our favorite songs. We'd dream of sharing the stage with people we thought of as heroes. I mean, we just wanted this opportunity to really make names for ourselves in the industry. I had no idea that I was going to go on to become one of the most recognizable figures in the history of Descendants and Zombies. If I would have known this 15 years ago, I probably would have went mental. Because I honestly never ever thought this YouTube channel would exceed the expectations of myself as a YouTube content creator, but it did because of each and every one of you. And I really am going out of my mind knowing that there are hundreds of people subscribing to this YouTube channel every day. This YouTube channel sees over 1,000 views every day and over 100 subscribers on certain times of the year in just one day. I remember a time when this YouTube channel had over 1,000 subscribers in less than 1 week because you guys saw something special in it. And do you think that I felt honored to be a part of that? Sure I did. I had never felt more honored to share with you my story about how I was a fan of these girls because I saw something special in them. And if I was going to do anything, I wanted to be a part of these conversations and I wanted to be a part of a celebration where I could put them over. Because I really do believe that everybody out there in this universe has their own star. And it forever and always has had an opportunity to shine brighter than ever before. I've always believed that everybody eventually has a light and everybody does eventually find it. No matter how long or how difficult it takes you to find your light, because some people will find your light ever before you do. But once you discover your light and your passion for whatever you're passionate about, all you've got to do is continue to follow your passions. And if you've ever wondered what the message is of things like the EPs dropped by Freya, Skye, and Kylie Control previously, it's that if you do have a dream, all you've got to do is continue to pursue your dream. And the possibilities are really endless. The sky has never been so much the limit for everybody out there. And Freya Skye sees it that way. I've never seen a girl so appreciative of conducting a 15-minute long interview where she may have the same 10 repetitive questions asked to her, but she's so appreciative of it. She was so excited to push the button to premiere her own song on the radio just last night. And that was an honor for her. She considered that an honor to be able to push the button to premiere her own song so that people who may have never heard it could have a chance to relate to it. Because more people related to that song than ever given credit for. Now, there were critics who were trying to figure out who may have heard Freya Skye, but the song really never had anything to do with that. It just had everything to do with how she wanted to distribute and create relatable content for people, and she had the opportunity to do it. And thousands of people have seen that same thing in this YouTube channel, for how this guy creates relatable content for every fan of Descendants and Zombies, to help you make sense of everything going on around you. Because even with how people are saying that Descendants 5 Book Wonderland is never going to come, and Zombies 5 is never going to happen, believe you me, I've heard and I've seen it all. But if there ever was one guy who nobody was talking about Descendants and Zombies, it's this guy. Less than 1 month before Descendants 5 Book Wonderland, that's when you can expect all this PR to happen and all these teaser trailers to drop. And I've never felt more honored to be a part of it. I'm just excited about this future when it comes to Descendants and Zombies content as each and every one of you, because I want to see what's going to happen. And I want to hear these reviews from the perspective of these critics who are obviously going to have something they want to share, a desire to share something with each and every one of us. But each and every single time that we shut out these critics and we don't give them what they want, which is pretty much just basically a reaction from fans of Freya and Kylie who have never taken off their hoodies, then we shut them out and we showcase Descendants and Zombies for what it's truly been meant to be. And that's something that's filled with so much passion and so much dedication. I don't even know if I've ever had the chance to experience anything quite like this. I know that this will forever and always hold a very special place in my heart, because having this honor to have recorded hundreds of videos, what would come to be hundreds of videos about Descendants and Zombies, is unlike anything that I've ever had the honor to do. And I am eternally grateful for every single person who has ever saw something special in every video that I've ever had the honor to record. Because just for me to tell you how I feel about Descendants and Zombies, that really doesn't serve any purpose. But if I tell you how I feel about Descendants and Zombies while sharing with you a relatable story, that makes you feel connected to this channel. That makes you feel as if the guy hosting the show actually understands you and gets you for being the fan of Descendants and Zombies that you are. If you have a ticket to one of the Freya Skye shows throughout the 15 city dates that she is selling out across the entire month of February, what I want you to do is I want you to go to these shows. I want you to have your glitter signs ready and made and ready to go, and show Freya Skye the love and support that she has forever and always deserved, and also have the time of your life. Because moments like these are only ever meant to happen in a person's lifetime only ever so often. So because they're only ever meant to happen ever so often, I think we should celebrate these moments and we should share in these moments together. Because just like you, there's a girl out there tonight watching this video who loves Freya Skye with all of her heart. There are thousands of them who have subscribed to this YouTube channel and who have seen something special in every video that I've ever had the honor to record. It truly has been the greatest honor of my life and the most fun that I've ever had, not only talking about Descendants and Zombies and having the chance to sit in this chair behind this microphone each and every single day, because there's always something relatively new archived here on this YouTube channel. There truly is something here for everybody on this YouTube channel. I have had the honor of meeting thousands of people who love Freya Skye and who have had the opportunity to share with me their story about how they became a fan of Freya. And I've never felt more honored to have experienced this. Because honestly, guys, I don't know if I've ever experienced anything quite like this in my lifetime. I do know that it's an experience that I will never ever forget, and I will never forget any of you for how you've touched my heart, sharing with me your stories about how you felt inspired. Because many of you know even more than what I've ever known about Descendants and Zombies. All I've ever known is there's this passion that is truly undescribable that people have carried with them for forever and always. And I'm here to tell you guys that I support you And there's nothing wrong with that. If you are a die-hard fan of Descendants of Zombies and you have never wanted to see these stories end, then I think you should continue on believing in that passion. Because you never wanting this story to end will result in a new chapter, far more characters, far more opportunities to explore these franchises, and to showcase them for what they're truly meant to be showcased for having been. If you love Freya Skye with all of your heart and you're watching this video because of that, I want you guys to know that I've got you up against these critics because we're faced with about 17 million critics, and within 24 hours, people are going to be posting endless amounts of reviews on their thoughts about this EP. People are going to be downloading it off Spotify and Apple Music and YouTube Music. It's going to be an absolute buzz. But I will be right here sitting in this chair, prepared to say nothing but nice things about Freya for those of you who want to come along on this journey with me, because this has been an incredible journey and one that I will never ever forget any of you because of. Because what you did for me and this YouTube channel was truly something special, and I will never forget any of you for allowing me the opportunity to have represented you as your voice of Descendants of Zombies and to have been a part of each and every one of your lives. Thank you so much for believing in Freya Skye and Descendants of Zombies as much as what you have. And thank you so much for having made this your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time. I'm your host, Jonathan Clarke. Thank you so much for watching this video.